Curtis has to say. So I'll have a press conference pretty soon, meeting voters as well. And this is supposed to be, you know, a lot of people felt he did very well. He had the strongest contingent, I think, out for him last night by a mile. Cuomo had maybe 20% of the people that Curtis had, and then Zohran had maybe even less than Curtis, but then they all left right by 6 o'clock on the dot. Curtis's people were here until the bitter end, so you see the enthusiasm. This is on 28th Street and Park Avenue. So you see the enthusiasm from yesterday, so we'll ask him some questions, ask him what he thought about the debate performance, but the enthusiasm was strongest with Curtis, I think, yesterday. And other people take marching orders, they might get paid, they might be asked by their unions. People for Curtis just supported him, so they were here the whole time. Everybody else left to 6. Hello, Finn. How you doing? Just a Marvel fan.
Sorry, man. That's all right. Man, how'd it go? How's it going?
Were you encouraged by your showing? It was twice as big as Zohran's. Wasn't much of a competition. Hello, Finn. Good to have you. Is this America? Yes, this is. This is a New York City mayoral election. Oh, he's right out here. Cool. Curtis going to talk a little bit. Nice thing about YouTube, I don't have to set anything up. Everybody else has to plug in their cameras. Hope you guys can hear it though. There's a decent spot where I'm not interfering with the cameras. That should be alright. On the chat, hi, Steve Spanish Tree says Red Beret. Is that Vigilante Justice guy from New York? Yep. Been around for several decades now. Yes, he's running for mayor of New York City against Zohran Mamdani. Deborah says Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York City, the only one who lives his life for New York City protection. Love support from NY. Thanks for the support. Yeah, I think he's got, you know, I was at the debate yesterday. You're good. And that was just interesting to see the disparity of enthusiasm and the people out for each candidate. And Curtis had the most amount of people, I think, attended by a mile. There were people kind of rallying outside for a debate. Sure. So they're all rallying outside for the debate, and Curtis had twice as much as Zohran, and then Cuomo had about 25% of what Zohran had. So if you look at the enthusiasm, you see the discrepancy there. That was interesting. Zohran certainly had an enthusiastic cadre as well, although the difference is they all left at 6 p.m. And then Curtis's people were there for the whole time. So you do wonder how enthusiastic the support is. You know, if their union tells somebody to show up, the people will show up. But doesn't necessarily mean that they support the candidate enthusiastically. So it did speak volumes. If you guys want to check out my stream from yesterday, please do subscribe. We got 80 people watching, not bad. All right, so when you're ready, everyone good?
Thank you for coming today. Again, like every day in my campaign, I go down into the subways where you're going to find most of the working class people in New York City. Millions of them in the course of the day. Great focus group, and it was great debate prep for me. That's what I depended on, talking to people in the subway. Well, it's 12 days to go till we determine who the next mayor is. 12 days, November 4th. By the evening, we should know who the next mayor is. We know that the billionaires have tried to bribe me to drop out. That didn't work. And I've told all the billionaires led by Ackman, who's like gives me vertigo as he runs back and forth from Cuomo to Adams to Cuomo. You can forget me dropping out because it's not the billionaires who are going to pick the next mayor. It's the people of New York. I trust the people. They will make a decision. I don't trust the billionaires, and I don't trust the influencers and the insiders. So let's establish that. Last night at the final debate, which I won, clearly, we learned two things. That Zohran Mamdani is not ready for prime time. His resume would fit on a cocktail napkin. But we also learned about Andrew Cuomo that he's a classic test case for HR training. And if he were to ever be elected as mayor, you'd have to have an HR person constantly in his presence. Because if you're under 30, Cuomo's always flirty. Now, how do I know that? I just came from the studios of La Mega, a show listened to by millions across the country, with a young lady there named Molina, who was 29. When Cuomo visited their studio, that was like half our conversation today, he was asking her out on a date. She was embarrassed. Cuomo's entourage was embarrassing. What are you doing, Andrew? He can't help himself. And last night was the perfect opportunity for him to clean the air of the 13 women that he sexually harassed that we're paying out, according to Tom DiNapoli, $20 million now, but it'll probably be about 60 million when all is said and done, including a female state trooper. He just refuses to admit
Please subscribe.
that he was a perv, and we're paying for it. And today's visit to La Mega, wow, imagine. If you're 30, he's flirty. He can't keep his hands off the young ladies. And that's the reason that you factor everything into making your determination. But the people will make that determination, not the billionaires. It's interesting. I saw after the debate last night, I stayed with my many supporters. And we talked about the next 12 days, how we got to continue to get the vote out, going door to door, sending out those emails, those texts, making those phone calls, snail mail, leaving the door hangers, old-fashioned retail politics, get out the vote. We know Zohran has done it. That's why he so effectively beat Andrew Cuomo in the Democratic primary that rejected him. Cuomo, when he announced at the end of February, was at 40%. Zohran Mamdani was 1%. He was at the bottom of all the Democrats running in the primary. And by June 24th, he beat him by 13 points because, as Cuomo admitted, he had no get-out-the-vote effort. Again, I run into the Zohranistas all the time. They're aggressive. You saw last night, the Sliwa supporters are aggressive. Cuomo supporters, I don't think they know how to get out the vote. But that'll be determined by November 4th. What we saw last night, Cuomo, instead of staying with his supporters, ran off to his friend Jimmy Dolan and Eric Adams at Madison Square Garden. The very entity that needs to pay $48 million a year in property taxes. They pay no property taxes in Madison Square Garden. So of course he's friendly to Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo because they've taken care of their friend. Property taxes are up 20% in New York. It almost rivals what you pay for now in Nassau and Suffolk County and Westchester and New Jersey. And yet this gold brick, Jimmy Dolan, pays no property taxes. And they're sitting at courtside, smiling like the cats that swallowed Tweety Bird, Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams. And I hear that, oh, Eric Adams is going to endorse Andrew Cuomo today for mayor. Wow, corrupt birds of a feather fly together. Oh, do they have a history of corruption? And maybe when all is said and done, because Eric Adams was one and done, and Cuomo won't become the next mayor, they can co-author the book, The Art of the Steal. Yeah, They're always looking to write books and make money. Isn't that what Eric Adams is always saying? I can't wait to write my memoirs. How many books has Andrew Cuomo written? Including a book about leadership in the middle of the lockdown and pandemic, while thousands of elderly were dying on his watch, and he had his staff writing the book. And he took $5 million, which he should have given to the taxpayer. So they always wanted to be authors. They could write a book together, The Art of the Steal. And let me explain. Before Eric Adams became the only indicted mayor in the city of New York for political corruption, the most corrupt of all, Andrew Cuomo paved the way as governor. Let me remind you, in the Buffalo Billions case, by 2017, 9 of his associates were indicted for corruption, led by his wartime consigliere, Joe Percoco, who was making calls from the executive wing of Albany, the governor's office. How many boxes of ziti? Code language, 1 box of ziti, $1,000. 5 boxes, $5,000. 25,000. He went to jail for that. So did Cuomo's other cronies go to jail. So there are similarities with Adams, but there was one other case, the Moreland Commission that Cuomo put together to investigate the judicial, the legislative branch that he said was corrupt in Albany. Then the very people that he appointed said, Governor, we have to investigate the executive office. Oh no, that's it, shut it down. And Preet Bharara, U.S. Attorney of the Southern District at that time, was on the cusp of indicting him for that. He should have. So that's corrupt Cuomo. And look, his protege, corrupt Eric Adams. Let's see, Timothy Pearson, his lifelong police friend, who was given the authority to write the contracts for the migrant shelters, would say to the vendors, where's my crumbs? AKA, where are my kickbacks? Gee, sound like Joe Percoco. Hey, 5 boxes of CD. They must have learned from the same corrupt manifesto of the Democratic Party. And it wasn't just Timothy Pearson. It was Bill Banks. It was Eddie Caban. It was Jeffrey Madrid. It was Ingrid Lewis Martin. It was Eric Ulrich. Wow. Comes to about 9 people right there. And if not for the Department of Justice and President Trump rescuing Eric Adams, he would have been doing time in a jail cell with Bobby Gobar Menendez and George Santos. All of them corrupt. And a lot of good men and women gave up their careers at the Justice Department that were in the Integrity Division because of that outrage of letting Eric Adams off the hook. So I know they're going to be celebrating today, but when I look at them today, 2 corrupt birds of a feather flocking together. They deserve one another. That's why Zohran Mamdani has done so well. Because he said to his fellow Democrats, we're not going back to that. We're not going back to corruption. That's why he beat Andrew Cuomo so effectively, because people know that Andrew Cuomo killed 15,000 with his executive order. Would basically have to be the prototype for an HR manual in City Hall, because if you're under 30, he gets flirty with you. He doesn't know how to keep his hands off. And most importantly, because he was corrupt before Eric Adams was corrupt. I'm not corruptible. You can't buy me. You can't sell me. You can't lease me. I'm not for rent. When I get elected mayor, big sign on City Hall, not for sale. Any more Eric Adams or any more Andrew Cuomo.
So Curtis, yes sir.
Curtis, today the Staten Island Advance has an editorial endorsing Andrew Cuomo, and specifically they say, we understand many Staten Islanders think Sliwa should be the next mayor, but we urge those Staten Islanders to consider the political leaning of the rest of New York, and that a vote for Sliwa is a vote Cuomo does not get, handing City Hall to Mamdani. What's your reaction to their editorial?
Staten Island Advance has consistently said in 2021, I know more about Staten Island than all the other candidates together, correct?
Right.
And yet, they picked Eric Adams back in 2021, who I told them would be corrupt and there would be chaos. They have a right to pick whoever they want editorially, but you should know the advance has no impact on Republicans. Its view, its editorial policy skews very Democratic. So if anything, that will just energize my supporters all the more.
You don't think that reaches some Sliwa voters on Staten Island who see this and go, man, I'm throwing my vote away, I gotta go Cuomo instead?
Obviously, you don't know much about Staten Island like the other candidates like Cuomo. Remember in that debate, that primary debate? What is the borough that you spent the least amount of time in? Remember how they giggled like little kids? Oh, Staten Island, including Cuomo. Come on, Staten Islanders recognized that they were slapped in the face by the Democratic candidates in their primary debate, who giggled like little kids, so proud that they spent so little time in Staten Island. People in Staten Island know I'm there all the time for them, not just when I'm running for office. They won't forget that slap in the face. All the Democrats, including Zohran Mamdani, laughing. Oh, Staten Island, we spent so little time.
Curtis, you're attacking Cuomo quite a bit. Not going after Mamdani as much yet. It's both you and Cuomo that trail Mamdani in the polling by double digits. Is there a reason that you're not going after Mamdani more?
I don't know, did you see the debate last night? Could you get any more personal with Zohran than I got, talking about my two Jewish sons, not trusting him, calling him the arsonist who's just fanning the flames of anti-Semitism? And if he were to become mayor, he can't suddenly arrive as the firefighter. Did you miss that point? I mean, that was pretty potent stuff. In fact, there are newspapers around the world who cater to the Jewish community who are saying, boy, that struck the nerve. So Andrew Cuomo can say whatever he wants about Zohran Mamdani. I got personal with Zohran Mamdani about the anti-Semitic issue. And by the way, again, not brought up. Again, media blackout. His embrace of the terrorists and supporter of terrorists, Siraj Imam Wahaj, right? That's the big news. Who's the only one who took on Imam Siraj Wahaj? Curtis Sliwa, sued for $5 million. You know who was with Siraj Wahaj, Imam Siraj Wahaj over those years? Bloomberg, de Blasio, Eric Adams, Andrew Cuomo. Who took him on? Who got sued for $5 million by the supporter of terrorism? Curtis Sliwa. I haven't seen that reported yet. Just Google it. It's in the New York Post. But for some reason, you try to marginalize me, you try to negate me, but guess what? I ain't going away. There's no vanishing cream you're going to put on me. I'm in this race, and I go at both of my opponents because they're both Democrats. They're both responsible for the crime crisis we have in New York City.
Mr. Sliwa, at the debate yesterday, the other two candidates were speaking more about standing up to Donald Trump, and you were more about making a deal. Wouldn't you just get steamrolled?
Let me tell you, I've had a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump over the years. Everybody knows that. But he holds New York City by the short hairs. He's already cut Medicaid. He's already cut the SNAP program. He's threatened to cut NYCHA. He said already if Zohran Mamdani is elected mayor, he's taken $7 billion that he would use for his child care, mandatory universal child care provision. And you're going to fight Donald Trump? You're going to bump chests like Andrew Cuomo, I'm the toughest guy of all. Well, who suffers? The people of New York City. And they both have a fallback, because then instead of taking responsibility for being tough guys who couldn't beat the guy who has all the cards, who's the most powerful man in the world, they'll blame Donald Trump. Isn't that what Democrats always do? I took the more rational approach. You got to respect the president, but he likes to negotiate. So I used one example in the previous debate. Give up the 2nd Avenue expansion, which is not needed, 3 stations on the Q train at 125th, but fight for the tunnel underneath the Northeast Corridor tunnel that transports millions from Washington to Boston. It's vital to everybody's commerce. I think he and whoever he assigned to that would like the fact that you're willing to negotiate. Now, would you get that? You won't know unless you try, but if you bump chests with Donald Trump, how do you win? You can't win. Zelensky tried that. It took him 72 hours to whistle a different tune. and how much better the relationship has been for the Ukraine since.
And you think you could cut a deal that would be better for New Yorkers?
I don't know, but at least I'd have a chance to try. When all of a sudden you're like macho, maniacal guys, you're going to take on the most powerful guy in the world, you lose. But you see, they already know that. And they already know that we're in fiscal distress, not because of the federal government alone, but the budget of New York City is out of whack. And Albany has been told that they're going to have to cut $36 billion of spending because they have to balance their budget. Some of that was intended for New York. So they already know that. So they want to blame everything on Trump.
Sliwa, what concerns do you have that if Eric Adams endorses Cuomo, that's going to cut into the pool of undecided voters that you are all competing for right now? You need some of those voters to win. Are you worried that they might give Cuomo a second look given this endorsement?
No. I mean, Eric Adams is a person of no consequence. Everybody knew that he was waiting for the price being right before he'd be one and done. Because remember, back in June 24th, when Cuomo threw in the towel, everybody was telling me to drop out there. Oh, you got to back Eric Adams. All the billionaires are backing Eric Adams. Oh, the guy holding the booster bag for both. You know what a booster bag is in Italian? Frank Carone. He's got the booster bag first for Eric Adams with the realtors and developers. Then he runs over to the realtors and developers with his booster bag for Andrew Cuomo. Because corrupt birds of a feather flock together. I'm not worried about that. Anybody who was going to vote for Eric Adams, I have to wonder where they've been these last 4 years, because he is the most corrupt man in the history of New York. So hey, Andrew Cuomo, you can have whatever votes he had. I don't ever want Eric Adams' votes. I tell you this much, I'll equate it to baseball. We had a great guy, Dominican, Washington Heights, went to George Washington High School. His name was Ramirez. You may remember, played left field for the Red Sox. He'd hit home runs into the left field stand, and Yankee fans would throw the ball back. That's what I would do to any vote that came from Eric Adams. I'd throw it back. I don't need the Eric Adams votes. Don't need it.
Two questions, New York Post. The first question, so you're sitting here saying that you spend every day on the subway talking to people. For your bigger campaign finances, you spent $30,000 on Ubers, $2,700 on taxis. That's 25 times that of your opponents. Doesn't that make you sound hoity-toity? You're telling us you're in the subway every day, but you're not.
Bullshit question.
Well, I'm
because
in the subway every day,
employees,
but other
staffers
places are
using
not served by the subway.
Bullshit
And if you
question.
look at my schedule, it's 20 hours in a
Bullshit
24-hour
question.
day. Whereas my opponent, Andrew Cuomo, he hasn't even been on the campaign trail in 10 days, reported by
Please
the New York
subscribe.
Post. So I
I'm
can
not gonna ask
justify
bullshit
those
questions.
expenses. And now, because of threats on my life, as a result of me not taking the bribes to drop out, for the first time in my life, I have to have armed security. I never had armed security, even after the Gottis and Gambinos shot me 5 times with hollow point bullets and I recovered. Now, I have to have armed security for myself and my wife, Nancy. How did Nancy harm anybody or say anything bad to her? And they threaten her too? Those are justifiable expenses.
Second question, do you think it's proper to pay your guardian angel's co-founder thousands of dollars for outreach? Does this involve other angels, just Arnaldo Salinas?
Could you say that again?
You've paid Arnaldo Salinas thousands of dollars for outreach. Does this involve any other guardians? And do you think it's appropriate to pay your guardian angel's co-founder thousands of dollars from your campaign?
The organization's
That
allowed
was in the 2021
to spend
campaign.
money. I
Nobody is questioning.
Bullshit.
He owns Archangel Security. So he was providing some of the security at the event as a private businessman.
the Post is see the Post being super antagonistic towards Curtis.
The expenses of the city's outreach. You're saying
So she's from the Post.
That was in
New York Post.
2021.
Your reaction to with once Mayor Adams called Cuomo a snake. Now you're kind of like
Well, obviously he's a snake charmer. Eric Adams is the master snake charmer. But he's a typical politician. You see, that's why people like me. I'm not a typical politician. I don't trust the politicians. I don't trust the billionaire class. I trust the people. So people knew that Eric Adams was auditioning for the price to be right. The moment he got his price from the billionaires, he's one and done. And so the guy who called Andrew Cuomo a snake is now the snake charmer. Are you surprised by that? And who is the booster bag man? Frank Carone for both, who negotiated this. Come on, it's so obvious. And the corruption, it reeks of corruption. By the way, Andrew Cuomo officially gave up in the primary on June 24th. The very next night, Eric Adams revived, resurrected, ran with Frank Carone to the real estate industry, and they walked out with $1.5 million in the booster bag. Where did that money go? You're asking me questions about my expenses. Could you find out what happened to the $1.5 million that they publicly acknowledged that they raised the night after Andrew Cuomo officially admitted he lost the Democratic primary from the real estate industry? Frank Carone was there with the booster bag. They walked. I haven't heard anybody follow up on that. Where'd that $1.5 million go? Did it go to Winnie Greco in her potato chip bag? Imagine this guy, he gets a revival, a resurrection to run again. And who does he have at his press conference? Winnie Greco, the potato chip woman. Oh my God. The guy can't do anything without the taint of money and corruption taking place. Yeah.
So going back to do you think continuing in this race guarantees Mamdani's victory?
Nothing guarantees a Mamdani victory. I don't know. Are there no Nostradamuses here?
They're asking just the same question.
Was I not told by all of you that why you're knocking yourself
This is
out?
why I'm
Cuomo's
here,
going
because
to
it's
be
a question
coronated
to
mayor. Remember the
Duncan.
Democratic primary? Curtis.
How many times?
It's
did
a
he
fait
beat a horse?
accompli. Cuomo's going to be the next mayor, right? Weren't many of you parroting that? Come on, admit it.
Not me.
I know. Curtis knows where all the bones are buried and who buried them. Come on. Oh,
You too.
I don't know why the Democrats are trying. It's Cuomo's race to lose, right? Race to lose. He lost it by not campaigning. He's not campaigning again. He spends every day telling people I should drop out. Even though every day I tell people I'm not dropping out. And you know who that's a good day for? Zohran Mamdani. Because then you don't have to talk about issues. You end up talking about nonsense, gossip. Come on, this is a race. 12 days to go. What is Andrew Cuomo doing to get his vote out? Can anybody tell me? Does he ever get out the vote ever? I haven't seen anybody in the streets. I haven't seen anybody knocking on doors. I haven't seen signs. I have 13 headquarters now. None for Cuomo. You can't win a campaign that way, urging people to drop out. How about actually campaigning to become mayor? If you're hungry, the Zohranistas are out there. We run into them all the time. We don't run into any canvassers for Andrew Cuomo. And supposedly, he's trying to take my vote. So we'd figure he's in the same neighborhood. Nothing. Did that answer your question? Thank you.
You know, I'm curious, just from a different perspective than the mainstream media, are they missing two important things about momentum? One is that your poll numbers have actually increased by 40%. You're the only one that's seen any movement. Everybody else, Cuomo stagnant at 43, at 28, Zohran stagnant at 43. At the debate last night, you had twice as many people as Zohran. All of Zohran's people left at 6 p.m. And then Cuomo had about a quarter of the people Zohran had. Nobody in the mainstream media had those shots. I have a YouTube, so I was walking around. Do you think they ignored that? Last question. Hiram Montserrat, former state senator, got convicted of slashing his wife, his girlfriend, with a broken beer bottle, resigned from the state senate. He was there speaking out for Cuomo at the debate as part of the cleanup Roosevelt Avenue. Do you want to call on Cuomo to decry Montserrat's presence there? Because especially with Cuomo's people, it seemed to be invite only, unlike yours. So is that something he'll have to answer for about Montserrat?
Well, it's something, again, that he has in common with Eric Adams. Corrupt birds of a feather flock together. Who was in court every day when Hiram Montserrat was being charged with slashing his girlfriend? We all saw that on camera. Eric Adams.
Yeah.
So now the torch is passed from one corrupt
It's all the family.
official to another. to get the support of Hiram Montserrat. Cuomo signed the bill eliminating loitering laws. That was the law of State Senator Jessica Ramos, who represents that area. The women were able to go out and prostitute themselves because of Cuomo's bill. Now, it is true, Cuomo is the architect of prostitution flourishing in the streets, but the apprentice is Zohran Mamdani. The only one who has done anything to stop open-air prostitution is Curtis Sliwa with the Guardian Angels. Except, last night you heard Cuomo said he wanted to arrest the prostitutes. He didn't say arrest the Johns, arrest the John Shaman, arrest the madams and the pimps who exploit the girls, arrest the no-show landlords, the missing in action landlords who allow their facilities to be used as houses of prostitution. But then again, maybe some of them are in the donor class and are wine, dine, and pocket line. Andrew Cuomo, imagine. He said arrest the prostitutes. Many of them are victims of sex trafficking. He knows nothing about the industry. He's never in the streets. They need help. They don't need to be arrested. Arrest the Johns. Shame the Johns. Arrest the madams and the pimps who exploit these women. Arrest the sex traffickers and arrest the absentee landlords who allow their facilities to be used. And let's look into those LLCs and see if any of them have donated to the campaign to elect Andrew Cuomo mayor. Inquiring minds want to know, hey, reporters, give you a little bit of homework to do about Andrew Cuomo. If I'm throwing it out there, it might be true. It might not be true.
I'll look into it.
Any other questions? Yes.
It looks like, according to my market, that Mamdani is prices will go up, obviously. And I think we're going to need you for 4 years, so please please help with the process.
Yeah, well, the billionaires are trying to make it so that I may not be healthy, so I appreciate the concern, but I'm not a gambler. The only thing I've ever gambled with is my life. So you can look at the markets, you can look at the trends, that's fine. I would suggest the billionaires focus on Wall Street, something they know well, something they've made money from, but they know nothing about the streets in New York City, and they've proven they know nothing about politics, because they've been wrong every step of the way, led by that jerk, Ackman. By the way, why do you people pump up Ackman? Who's Ackman? Ackman goes up to Newport, Rhode Island, plays in a professional tennis tournament, and everybody boos him. I say, you're an amateur. What are you doing on the court? Do you pay for your racket to be on the court? Come on, the guy is in a midlife crisis, and you just keep feeding the Ackman frenzy, who actually suggested that at one point we flip a coin. Like if he's an NFL referee, we pick Cuomo or Adams, flip a coin. Enough of this Ackman nonsense. Anything else? Yes.
First of all, thank you for your work with Guardian Angels and everything. Are you worried that your legacy will be overshadowed because Cuomo and you kind of split the vote and elected Mamdani?
No, because it's Andrew Cuomo who is the reason that Zohran Mamdani is ahead in the polls. Remember, again, we like the numbers. The end of February, I announced I have to leave WABC. Cuomo announces March 1st. The race is on. First poll, Cuomo at 40%. A lot of Democrats were running, remember? Brad Lander was like right behind Cuomo. Who was down at the bottom at 1%? Zohran Mamdani. Nobody knew Zohran Mamdani, only his neighbors. How did he go from 1% to beat Cuomo by 13%? Because he was out in the streets campaigning morning, noon, and night, while Cuomo was with his billionaire Medici friends in the Hamptons, mailing it in. And he's doing the same thing again. Again, I ask you, have you seen him actively campaigning in the streets, pressing the flesh? No. He's responsible for Zohran Mamdani. I'm going to beat Zohran Mamdani, but let the people vote. That's what democracy is about. Thank you. Thank you. Woo!
There he was, defiant as ever. Got to ask a question, which I appreciate. Respect to Curtis Sliwa for putting some schmuck on YouTube on Espressos. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm only in one candidate Express list, so you'll see a lot of Curtis coverage. Just luck at the draw, and who lets me on. It's not terribly surprising Curtis is the one that let me on. But all right, we got 500 people watching. Please subscribe, guys. Thank you. Thank you for your interest. Please subscribe. I'm the only on-the-ground independent YouTube person covering this mayoral race. Then we have some more post questions.
Well, you're not a good.
She's from the New York Post.
Secondarily, I would take staff members and others have to
If you give me a $50 super chat, I'll rip it for her. You have to give me $50.
But the staff is generally taking as they will get the staff and the staff.
It's just it's funny because your campaign opponents, their campaign expenses show that they're able to pay less numbers and they're riding the subway a lot more. So that would just be helpful.
Zohran Mamdani,
I think Zohran has a driver. And Cuomo, I think, has a driver, personal driver. So I don't think he has a personal driver. That's the difference. That's why there's more money in Uber.
He uses public transit the most, so he doesn't pay for an actual personal driver. That's the answer to the question.
Zohran got a sample of that the other day on the audio. Please, open this meeting to something. You remember there was a political story that I was getting out to help a person on 33rd Street jump back on the 16th going south. Who did I run into? Daniel Penny. And then as I was working the car, he was so struck out. And then Bradley Clark, who is the political attack day for Michael Bloomberg. We're on the same car. We made an incredible wide range of people. And he was going on the subway. You know, the subway doesn't go to the end. And it doesn't take a lot of work. How about that? Any other questions?
said, yeah, I see him on the internet, it's fun, but I wouldn't vote for him. What do you say to that gentleman?
That's freedom of speech. See, you get those that like it, don't like it, you subject yourself to the public. Andrew Cuomo doesn't do that. The young lady here is telling me ride the subway. Let's ride the subway. But you're going to ride the subway with me. Many of you have been with me while I ride the subway. So, don't give me credit for something that please. I think even my adversaries would say, yes, there is really trying to do something every day.
Sir, Mayor Adams.
Hey, Sliwa! Yeah!
Hey,
You got it. There you go. There
vote
you go.
for you, buddy.
You got it.
Hell yeah. Sliwa.
Just got the support.
Who won the debate last night?
Oh, I did, hands down.
And why?
I won because both of them started arguing like two kids in a schoolyard. I don't think they understand that people can't really hear it when you're shouting at one another and you're not slowing down and making your points. And I took shots at both of them on issues that they have been vulnerable with. And I think I made points on the issues that a mayor is going to have to grapple with when you get elected into office.
I know you feel you have momentum now. What gives you that?
Well, if you saw the crowd that came out for me yesterday, you felt the energy. They outnumbered the Cuomo supporters and the Zohranistas who live nearby. As you know, Long Island City and Astoria is a real powerful area for them. And in the outer boroughs, I have 13 headquarters now. There are signs everywhere. There are people who are enthusiastically involved in the get out the vote effort. We see the Zohranistas out there because that's what they did in the primary. We don't see a get out the vote effort for the Cuomo.
Who do you think you're taking votes from?
Oh, I think I'm taking votes from a number of people and maybe getting people's votes who normally don't vote in a mayoral election, because we know mayoral elections, unfortunately, have been low turnout elections.
You have to take votes from somebody to win.
That's true, but we'll see on November 4th. I'm not Nostradamus. All I can do is go out there and make my pitch 20 hours a day.
What do you make of Mayor Adams now wanting to support
Well, corrupt birds of a feather flock together. Remember, Cuomo has had 9 of his associates indicted for corruption. Joe Coco used to say, send me a box of ziti.
No, but seriously, what do you think of that? What do you think that happened in the campaign?
None. Eric Adams has been one and done. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Because it'll just show you 2 corrupt birds campaigning together and reminding people how corrupt Cuomo was in his governorship and how corrupt Eric Adams is. I mean, the most corrupt mayor in the history of New York City, and that's saying a lot with all the corrupt mayors we've had.
So you don't think it will take votes away from Mr. Mamdani?
No, the Mamdani people have pointed out, if you hear Mamdani, he points out that's why he's running, because of all the old Democrats and all the corruption. So, hey, they have a right to get their votes, I have a right to get mine. I'll be voting on Saturday when the doors open up at the Museum of Natural History. Try to put a final nail on this nonsense that I'm dropping out. Maybe they'll say, oh, but he's going to drop out after he votes for himself and votes for all the Republicans on the line. Not going to happen. He's wasting his time. He needs to go out. Cuomo get his votes. Zohran get your votes. Curtis will get his votes. The billionaires won't make the decision. The people will, and I'll live with that.
What does your campaign home stretch look like now?
Oh, it's going from neighborhood to neighborhood, as many different events as possible. We'll be out tonight until about 12 midnight, and I started at 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning.
Finally, like, if you would be mayor, would you be able to stand up to Donald Trump or make him a deal, as you were talking about at the debate yesterday?
No, you don't stand up to Donald Trump. You lose. I'm going to bump chests with Donald Trump. I'm going to cost people in New York City desperately needed federal funds if I do that. Now, both the Democrats, they'll fall back and say, well, it's Donald Trump who did this. No. It's you yourself who did it by trying to be a tough guy. I'm the toughest guy. Everybody knows that. But you can't get tough with Donald Trump. Zelensky found that out the hard way and then realized, uh-oh, I'm jeopardizing the people of the Ukraine. Let me reapproach Donald. You got to show respect. And you got to listen to what he has to say. Now, if you can offer him a deal, he might be enticed by that, but you're going to have to give up something in order to get something. That's been his history.
But are Trump's interests the same as New Yorkers? I mean, wouldn't you just get steamrolled?
No, because he represents all the people in the United States, and as mayor, I would represent the people of New York City, and sometimes the interests, they're not the same. But that's why you have to fight for your interests without standing up to Donald Trump and pumping chests. You lose. You lose. You'll never win that way because he's the most powerful man in the world. So why would you want to insult him and challenge him when he's cutting funding already and there is the threat of cutting more desperately needed federal funding? Next on the chopping block, NYC. Those are mostly poor and impoverished people. Where do they go if they don't have an apartment to live in because funds are cut?
Thank you so much.
Curtis, thanks for coming.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
So Kalshi, the prediction markets app, has you at like less than 1% to win the race. Do you feel like those are accurate? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a gambler. I don't play the stock market.
It's not gambling, it's predicting.
Hey, they have a right to predict. But they've been wrong before, and they'll be wrong again.
Okay.
You don't base elections on predictions. You got to get votes. But they're free to do whatever they like. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give
Curtis, real quick, I'm curious. She's asking about all the Uber, but do you have a personal driver? Because Cuomo probably has one, Zohran probably has one, so that might explain it.
I have former NYPD cops who will drive me, and obviously they're there to keep me secure and my wife secure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, that was fun. Actually, I think he's going on the subway, so why not? You see what's up. There you go. I like that. I kind of respect the Post's call it his bluff, though. He's like, all right, let's actually take the subway. So let's do it. Let's all take the subway together. Hopefully you still have reception. Please subscribe, guys. Dodge anti-Sliwa? No, I'm not. I mean, I'm YouTube, so I'm like professional journalist. I could say who I like. I prefer Sliwa. I like. There's a lot I like about Zohran too, but I'd say Sliwa's my guy.
Let's go! On Curtis, man! Let's go, Mamdani, man! Let's go! Yes, we're going to be good, Mamdani. Yes, welcome. Very welcome.
Yes, that was interesting.
Very welcome. He's running for mayor, right? I voted for him.
All right, guys, I'll probably lose reception once put a 1 if you want me to bear with that bad reception, and I could actually get on the subway. Put a 2 if you don't care. So I'll wait to see what you guys want me to do. It looks like we have reception still. But I'll probably lose reception. Well, hey, you got 300 people watching. No reason. 1? All right, I'll stick around. So why not? Guys, just I'm warning you, I'm going in the subway, so I might lose reception. Do not stop watching. Please subscribe. But if you want me to go on the subway with him, I will do so. Why not?
We're going back this way.
See, he's definitely the most successful on the ground here. Like, there's not anybody really. I mean, Zohran did it for show, for taking the bus to the debate, but other than that, I mean, he hasn't been taking it every day. And he's been honest. I asked Zohran about that. Yeah. When there was a rally in Washington Heights, did he take the bus? He said, no, somebody's driving me. So he was honest. Respect to him for being honest. But Curtis is it's only one claiming to be on the subways every day. So it's funny it's an interesting thing to challenge out of all things. But, tell him you're the only one alive. I said I liked him. I told him I was a fan. Thank you guys. Please do subscribe. I'm the only independent YouTuber covering this race. I'll be at Zohran's rally in a few days, and I'll probably be at another Curtis press conference tomorrow. So please subscribe. And hey, if you ever want me to ask a question, just write something in the chat you want me to ask, and I will ask a question for you guys. If anybody wants me to ask a question, Curtis, now, let me know. He is accessible. He's just chilling. So that's the fun part about this. It can be a lot more interactive than just regular news. Hopefully I still have reception. Looks like I do. Cool. I got out of my way, but that's all right. You guys want me to do it, so I will do it for you. Alright guys, actually getting on the subway. This will be fun. Subway's almost here. Alright guys, I might lose you, but stay watching. I'm going to lose you probably for 3 minutes. I don't know how long you're going to be on the subway for. We're just kind of wheeling it, going with the flow, having a good time. So if I lose you, I do apologize, but we will be in the New York City subway. I don't know if to get her shot. Sorry, I could have went to get her shot. Yeah, and it's funny because the New York Post was asking, he spent so much money on Uber, he can't really take the subway. So they called her bluff and said, well, come and take the subway with me. So it's nice to see you saying, yeah, you've seen him on the subway. Right. So there you go, case in point. Yeah. I'm glad he did that voice to confirm that, yeah, he's been on the subway, he's not lying. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I have a little YouTube, so I'm glad I got that little info, so I'll blast it out. Because, yeah, some people are really gunning against him, you know. The Post especially kind of has an interest in making sure he doesn't get enthusiastic support, especially from conservative readers, you know. All right, guys, we're going to keep losing reception, so this is becoming a fool's errand. Please do subscribe. I'm the only independent in this mayoral election. Follow Curtis on the subway. Please do subscribe to this YouTube. It would be much appreciated. Well, let's see. We got some reception this time, but I'm going to leave. I'm going to get out. They're staying. All right, respect. Hey, have a good ride wherever you guys are going. All right, guys, I'm breaking free. I gotta smoke a cigarette. I gotta eat. Well, you saw Curtis on the subway. I'll give a little rundown and everything. We asked Curtis about his momentum, his support. I was on the ground yesterday, you know, talking about the crowd size, and that Curtis had the strongest crowd size, I think, by a mile. So he had the good momentum, very adamant about not dropping out. And it's interesting with the Post reporter, not that she's a bad person, but like you could see how ill-intentioned they are and how much of it, even the New York Post, if you're more conservative, you're not, you hate them from the beginning, but if you're more conservative and you thought that Post had some integrity, and all of a sudden they're selling themselves out for Cuomo. But it was like they sent her to be a hitman, right? She almost turned more from a journalist to like a Hessian, to like a mercenary, to like a soldier for hire, And it was so deliberate, looking at like the Uber shit, saying, you're not really on the subway. What a load of shit. He's been the most active person on the subway. So that's why I'm glad I was there, just to disprove things and talk to that woman, which hopefully you saw it. And, the first thing she said to me was, oh, I always see Curtis on the subway. So it's desperate. If the Post is attacking Sliwa for some Uber expenses, get out of here. He's been on the subway. End of story. It's not much to really figure out. Guys, please do subscribe. I appreciate it. Please send me a super chat. Nobody's giving me shit. I'm poor. I can't live in this fucking city. I don't know. I'm here to go for Zohran. Burn this shit down. I'm poor. Give me money. If you give me enough money, I'll give you my OF link. Ginger pubes, $10. Think about it. I'm kidding. I would never. Or maybe I would. But seriously, no. If you do give me $50, I'll send ginger pubes. I'm kidding. Yeah, annoying as fuck. Bitch ass politicians. Cis stacked word. Them bitch asses being bitches. Well, that's why I'm here, man. I'm here to ask the questions people really want to know. The Democratic Party is Lucifer, says Wolverine. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. The way voting all Curtis does is to ensure Mamdani wins. People are obviously clueless how voting works, says John. See, that's why I like Curtis is Zohran is my second choice after Curtis. So no, I'm not a Cuomo-sexual. If anybody came out as a Cuomo-sexual during COVID, when they felt protected, when they felt embraced by Cuomo's warmth, by his sexiness, by his smoldering Cro-Magnon masculinity, and called themselves a Cuomo-sexual, you cannot come back in the closet. You came out of the closet as a Cuomo-sexual. You cannot come back in the closet. You are an out Cuomo-sexual. Forever accept it. Deal with it. I'm not a Cuomo-sexual. For the iron person who said his hat is stupid, right, says Rome to you. That symbolizes hope for New Yorkers they saw when the guardian angels showed up to help. Precisely. He cleans up the city when the city, I wasn't born. Shit, I was born in 90. But, like, when you research the history, people can't imagine what it was like way back then. It was a real, that's why I don't hate Adams as much as other people, because the city hasn't been nearly as dangerous, never was, as it was in the 1970s. Everybody voting for Mamdani. I think Mamdani's going to win. I like Curtis, but I think Mamdani is going to win. I think Curtis might end up taking second place. He's the only one that's seen an increase in poll numbers. He went from 14% to 20%. The other candidates have been completely stagnant. So that's a good idea. Hey, Kid Freshy, nice to have you. Curtis needs to bring back the satin jacket if he wins. I'd like that. Curtis made a Roman gang to attack minorities, says Leo. A lot of people in the Guardian Angels were minorities, so I don't know. Say hello, Sharia law wants you, fool. I don't think Zohran wants Sharia law. That's a little much. Which is it, guys? Is Zohran a radical Muslim, or does he want to legalize prostitution? Because it really can't be both, right? I hope he wants to, Zohran keeps saying, I don't want to legalize prostitution. I've been a little disappointed by that. You need to fully legalize that. You know what I don't like about Zohran? He's talking about free buses. He's not talking about providing free prostitutes. I think that would be a great thing for the community. Amy says, good thing my daughter won't be going to college in New York City because she's Jewish. I don't think Zohran is going to have any opposition to Jewish people. Here's a fun Kalshi. They were out at the debate yesterday. 92% chance Zohran wins. No, it's not Dodge F Mamdani. The city needs to be more affordable, man. Burn this shit down. I want this city to be a shit hole so I could fucking afford to be here. Be nice to. How old am I? I'm 87. I'm 87 years old. I'm 69. I'm kidding. I'm 35. I'm about to be 35. I turned 35 in a month. Too old to be doing this stupid shit. I'm a man-child. Rossi said Sharia law is what the United Emirates and Gulf states, where all you Islam-hating bastards to live as immigrants. Fuck your hip. What? Yeah, I'm not interested in visiting Emirates. Okay. Nurse D says Mamdani would legalize prostitution. Hell yeah! Just to dismantle the rule of law in New York City, so people want Sharia law for order. Oh, I see that logic. That makes sense. Adam says Mamdani finally slipped up and said he's going to raise your taxes to give you free stuff. Hell yeah, motherfucker. Guy's a political grifter. Get him out. He's a Trojan horse for his billionaire backers. How are you going to say he's going to give people free stuff and then say he has billionaire backers, eh? Mamdani is even practicing Muslim, says long live Hamas. That's a lot. The way it's hilarious how right-wingers say how bad Sharia law is, but also want to have the same law as Sharia laws when it comes to prosecuting gays and women. Yeah, word, right? The discrepancy is remarkable. I mean, it is funny. I mean, you think, wait until Marjorie Taylor Greene talks to some Palestinians, like some hardcore Muslims. She'll be like, "Oh my, you want to kill gays too? Me too. You want to stone gays too? Me too. I love it. We have so much in common." I am not talking about you, but all those effing MAGA and Brexit England who go there to live. I see. Makes sense. If you think New York is bad, I can't believe still have 160 people. I ain't doing shit. I'm just walking in a circle. I'm just circle jerking, guys. You're just watching me circle jerk. Thank you. I feel very flattered. I ain't doing shit. I'm just talking out of my asshole. Aaron Chavez says, if you think New York is bad now, wait till the communist starts to work. Maybe. I'll be bleeding red from my butthole, I'll tell you that much. Do you like Trump? No, I do not. But I didn't vote for Kamala either. I voted Libertarian. I was one of the 0.4% of people that voted for Chase Oliver. You probably do not know who Chase Oliver is, and that is the damn problem. What billionaire will stick around? Mamdani. Not many. That's why Mamdani is superior to Cuomo. Thou must accept it. Accept it, children. Accept it. Fuck the billionaires. I agree. I wish one of them would have sex with me someday. Sean Kern says, with the 1993 Twin Towers co-conspirators, Mamdani took a picture. Mamdani has never, when Mamdani was 11, Mamdani has never renounced the 93 Twin Towers bombing. Mamdani was 6 months when that bombing happened, or he's like a year old. You know what, though? How come in 1993 he wasn't like, goo goo gaga gaga, stop Islam, goo goo gaga gaga? Not acceptable. He was 11. I remember when I was, because I'm Mamdani's age, I was in New York City during 9/11. This goes to show you how selfish children are, and how horrible, like in reality they're actually horrible bastards. My first thought was when September 11th happened, we got to go home from school. It was first, yes, I get to go home from school, and I knew it was a Twin Towers attack. My second thought was, will there still be a new episode of Dragon Ball Z? I was like, yeah, there's been an attack, people are dead, but I was expecting an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Will it still come on? And Toonami kept it on. Hashtag thanks Toonami. No one likes Trump but losers. Word. Now I'm losing everybody. Shocker. You sound like Trump. You sound like a Trump supporter. I'm not. Damn. No name studios is rocket scientist. I'm losing everybody. Well, it's been fun, guys. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead here. People are disgusted in what I have to say. They're horrified, and I understand. I'm horrified by what I have to say. I horrify myself. Where should I go and get dinner? Well, it's lunchtime. Where should I go and get lunch? Nobody gave me any super chats today. I do this for nothing. Me, Trump, says W. Mr. Trump! I wonder, did that woman get deported? Remember the woman outside the Trump rally, the Hispanic woman? And she's like, and Trump was like, Mexicans love me. They love me. And then this woman was like, Mr. Trump! I love Mr. Trump! Like, you know she's deported now. Like, you know, like she's no longer in the United States of America. Where are you? In the city? I'm in Irving. I'm near where I used to live. I used to live on 21st and Lexington before my mom sold her house. It sucks. Because I can never afford to actually live here. Especially that you guys didn't give me a single damn super chat. Come all the way out here and you don't give me shit. Biatches. NW's chalked face. Cool. Biggest dumb hypocrite politicians are those who promote hate on countries, cultures, and nations where they live as immigrants. Okay. Trump fixing America one city at a time. I doubt that. I don't think they needed to fix it in the first place. Sorry. It's okay. You don't have to apologize, NW. I was just observing your emoticons. Kelly has refused to denounce pedophile. I don't know who Kelly is. Vote Massey. He's cool. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, thank you. Well, now I have to vote for Trump, guys. I got a $2 super chat. Trump blesses me. Thank you, Captain Lacken. It's very kind. All right, Captain Lacken made it worth my while. Made it worth it, Captain. I could go to Roosevelt Avenue with this and have a grand old time with that super chat before they closed it down for prostitution. More men in female sports, please. More tampons. This is my perspective on females, on men and women's sports. Yeah, theoretically, I understand that people are upset. Anybody give a fuck about Riley Gaines before a man started playing in her sport? Did anybody care about women's intramural volleyball before a man came up and showed them how it was done? And now they have endorsement deals, and now people are going to their games. The best thing to happen to women's sports are the trans. Nobody gave a shit about them before, guys. Nobody fucking watched this shit. Nobody watched fucking girls ski. What the fuck they do? And then all of a sudden, a man comes in, a woman. I consider that person a woman. A woman, formerly man, comes in because it's a damn man's job, and everybody's paying attention, and they get more people, and they get interviews, and they get their endorsement deals, and yet we're all mad at the trans. Just think about it. Hashtag trans rights. If you are harassing a church here in Scotland, you get leathered. My cheeks are wide open. That's dumb dodge. It's factual, Barbara. They would not have careers. Riley Gaines would be homeless if it were not for the trans. Can you understand that? I'm sick of Democrats. This cheesy. Or if you are formerly a man, you are a man. You still are. Okay. Man, I feel like a woman. Man, I feel like a woman. Riley Gaines got 6th place against Leah Thompson. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know she placed 6th. That's hilarious. Well, there you go. Wow. Isn't that funny? The 6th place finisher is like, shit, I'm really bad at this sport. I need to make a career. Let's start talking about the trans. What did you do? Did you just like looked up Fox News in the phone book and be like, hey, Fox News? Hey, I'm some sportsman. Is there a man in your... Yes, there's a man in my... Girl, when are you free? New York is woke. Word. I'm radically libertarian. Very ignorant as fuck. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Alright, guys, this is devolving. Bet you won't get surgery. No, I'm not trans. I shout them out for helping out women's sports and getting an audience for that. That's it. Shout out. Dodge Lansing, clearly it was a trans who caused her to place 6th, just like how her knew a trans person. Right, which wasn't true. Therefore, right. The shooter knew one trans person. Oh, it's a trans. They're big, guys. They're big. I know I have a lot of right-wingers on the stream, and I love you, and I cherish you, and I respect you. I want to be there for you and understand you, but you're not going to get me to hate the trans. Sorry. You can gamble on them, dude, chicks. I don't know what you're talking about. We'll just ask to see it first. It's not a big deal. You know, in Thailand, they're like, lady or lady boy, you know. I'm not the lady boy type, but some people are, and that's up to you. Do you know about Prop 50 here in California? Vaguely. Tell me a little bit about it. Reverse demons. Word. You're a demon. I'm kidding. Alright, we're not talking about anything important. Marley Gaines tied Mr. Thomas, and the trophy went to Mr. Thomas to make it look good. Yeah, and then Riley got millions of dollars in endorsement deals. So sad. So sad. Oh my god, yeah. Dobby's gonna raise taxes, says exiled Chimera. Oh hey, I'm almost where I used to live. You guys wanna see where I used to live? Before my mom sold out my childhood. It's Gramercy Park. Snooty ass, obnoxious ass, bitch ass park that nobody could get into. But they added this gate because some drunk driver like rammed into it one night. And that was a bad scene. And I was like, that park deserves it. This is a stupid private park. And I lived in the, well, I'll show you where I used to live. I lived in the north end of the block. And if you lived in the south end, you get a key. If you lived in the north end, you wouldn't get a key. But they'd yell at you if you smoked weed in the park. So it's like, what's the point of having a park if you can't smoke weed in it? There's no whole point of a park is looking at the trees and the architecture while consuming cannabis. And if you cannot do that, then what is the point? Fuck this park. Fuck this. Zohran and Mamdani will burn this motherfucking park down. That's it. Zohran, I bet Zohran Mamdani would make this park public. We need parks where you can piss in. How come nobody's talking about that? Why don't we make pissing zones, piss pass zones in the parks? So we can. I need to piss. I hate walking around. You go to Detroit, you go to any alley and take a piss. Everybody's watching you. Everybody's judging you. I miss Detroit. Am I a tweaker? Yeah, it's called meth. Give me a super chat so I can procure more. Thanks. Cheesy Puff says, I don't mind if you smoke weed, keep it away from my kids. That is a fair argument. Find a partner to party. They don't even have one. Are you with Curtis right now? No, he broke up. No, I'm not with Curtis because I didn't have any reception on the subway. So it's like, what's the point of remaining on the subway if like it's going to lose reception? Anything else we need to talk about? Somebody called me a tweaker. I am. Why did your mom leave the city? Because all her kids grew up, and we grew up in New York City, and she felt there wasn't a point because she had two places. I live at her other place, but she is in Europe for 7 months a year. So I have the place to myself, but she's out in Putnam County, which is like an hour north of the city, so it's a headache coming back in and out. Which reminds me, I have to take the train soon. But she sold it, and after my stepdad passed too. My stepdad really liked the house. But once my stepdad passed, like he really didn't like New York City that much. She has lived there since like 1977. And it was sad. I'll show you the exact apartment where I lived. My cousin lives here, or lived here across the street. My aunt still lives here. And we used to hang out a lot. We moved here probably when I was like 13, 12 or 13. I grew up in Greenwich Village. And now I'm just a homeless nomad. I mean, I travel a lot too. I'm going to be in Arkansas soon. It's a hell of a lot. It's funny. At least I'm making enough to afford lodging in West Virginia and Arkansas, but not in New York City. That's all right. Other places are going to get my money. May that be a lesson, and that's why people are voting for Zohran. This is my old apartment. I was on the top floor, the 15th floor, 21st and Lex. They got rid of the door thing. Weird. Everyone supports Curtis are at a job working. Fuck your jobs. It's Friday, I ain't got no job, ain't got shit to do. Damn hooligan kids playing. Oh, this is just me talking shit walking around. But if you guys like this, I won't leave. I'll put a 1. At some point, I gotta leave you. Are you for or against Curtis? I like Curtis. Curtis is my number 1. But I'm not a Trumper. Curtis is not really pro-Trump, which is why Curtis is acceptable. I think he has the experience to. I think he has the people to do it. I think his heart is in the right place. I think he's not corrupt. And what I like about Curtis is, I'm somebody who looks at politics per individual issue. So that means I'm really broadly more libertarian left of the. I lost everybody. Was he guarding Angel Dodge? Yes. Guarding Angel Dodge? Yes. Sad. I lost everybody. I'm in pain. He can win. Cuomo needs to drop out. He's a serial sexual assaulter. I agree. All right, guys. Now that it's only 20, I think I can finally leave. This is fun. Hopefully, we'll do a little stream tomorrow. I stream, you stream, you all stream for ice cream. Sorry, my cap locks this stuck old computer. I'm kidding. Love South Park. Now it's all politics. Pretty good on politics. South Park's always been all politics. Oh well. Anyway, guys, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you for that one person for the $2 super chat. I made so much money today. Oh, we're back at 60. Hey guys, what's up? I do tarot readings with a regular deck. I like that. That's very mysterious. Oh, they closed the 7-Eleven. That's sad. They used to have a 7-Eleven here. They've closed it. It's dead. We saw the McDaniels. That's down there. And the Wenginas. McDaniels and Wengina. Saves money, word. Alright guys, I think I'll have to leave. Unless one of you want me to stay. New York, yeah, I was at a Curtis Sliwa press conference. I was interviewing him, and now I'm just walking the sidewalk talking shit. Still got 63 people watching. I'm kind of shocked. Talking shit, saying horrible things. Admiring in more ways than one. Catch my drift. One, all right. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. You know, we could just be like Cuomo and just like, I could just stop and we could just film and like perv on women and like film their booty just like Cuomo. That would be like a total Cuomo. I'm kidding, we're not going to do that. That would be a total Cuomo move. LMO. Cakes, I know, right? Cakes. See, if I were Cuomo, I would have stopped and I would have felt it. But I ain't Cuomo, I don't have that. I'm not a Cuomo sexual. Soon, lots of businesses will be closing in New York. We'll see. Free shit. Give me my free. Give me free fucking TV. Give me a free steak. Give me free prostitutes. Okay. Give me free bus, free car, free clothes, free wife from Russia. Free bird. Go tracks Ed what sees. You said it, I was just wondering. What were you wondering? Wondering. Do you really do meth? No, I don't do meth. No. Only Joanna. I'm the Joanna man. Everybody know the reefer man. Cab Calloway. Reefer man. And I tried meth once. Everybody know the reefer man. But I didn't like it. Hard drugs don't do that much for me. You know, I never tried. I'm wrong. I didn't try meth. I tried crack. I didn't try meth. They are different. What is this? I'm looking at this font. Is this like too healthy? Because I like Asian, but I don't like healthy. This is too healthy. Help me find somewhere to eat, guys. I'm very picky. I drink. I hate it. I don't drink that much. Once in a while, I'll drink. I only drink to get drunk. If I drink, I black out. If I drink, I start fighting people. I'm kidding. I'm a very happy drunk. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave. I need to eat. Please subscribe. Please love me. Please validate me. I need virtual validation because I'm a loser. I have no friends and I cannot get a girl, so you need to validate me by subscribing. Alright, bye guys. Love you. Bye-bye.